News. I am Deku Madema. United Guardian Youths for Development, a youth organization in the Kanifing municipality, recently convened a conference and award ceremony at the Kanifing Municipal Council Multipurpose Center. Mama J has details of the ceremony, which has the theme Let's Talk Guardians and Counseling.
Constitute more than 65% of the country's population. Therefore, any move that is meant to advance their cause is commendable. United Guardian Youth for Development during a day's conference presented its platform to advocate for guidance and counseling of young people from all forms of abuse, violence and unproductive lifestyle. The forum also witnessed the launching of the association's funding committee called G+, that is tasked with the responsibility of lobbying funds for the smooth operations of its programs. Mamadou Juju Jallo is the Child and Youth Empowerment Officer, United Guardian Youth for Development.
We have what we call 4 days camp in Katong. That's what we started on the 14th to 19th, and it's all about guidance and counseling. We tell them, how, because guidance, what we realize is guidance always start from the roots. But looking at the youths of today, some of them, we cannot say everyone, but some of them lack what we call guidance and counseling.
The head of Adoption, Child Placement Unit, Department of Social Welfare, Per Jata, underscored the importance of the program and assured his department's support towards achieving what he called a noble objective.
Today, we want to ensure that we have a society which is free of chaos. And one way to do it is to ensure that we advocate, we also create programs that will educate them, guide them and protect them, and they know what they need to do, what they need not to do. And this is why I guess we really commend the organization for organizing such a program, and we really behind them, and will ensure that anything that is meant to advance youth, we will always support it.
Participants at the end of the program were awarded with certificates of appreciation. Mama J, Grts.
APRC party functionaries and militants recently converged on the Lower Nyume settlement of Fas Njagatoy to celebrate the landslide victory of their National Assembly member in the March parliamentary polls. Our Babakar Kamara was there, and he now tells us more.
It is the political atmosphere that had prevailed over 15 years ushering the Second Republic and still giving mandate to political figures that are under the APRC ruling party. The March 29 parliamentary elections have ended with the new leader elected and installed by the very people who casted their votes for him. Honorable Sheriff Misbah Haider of Fas Njagachoy have won with an overwhelming majority in the Lower Nyume constituency, reviving an inherent political dominance and might possessed by the APRC party over the years. They entrusted their votes to him and President Jammeh and are now appealing for improved development in the healthcare services, electricity and a high school. Speaker upon speaker echoed this concern and vowed to sacrifice their life for the party. For their part, both the governor of North Bank Region, Lamin Kuin Jammeh, and Honorable Sheriff Misbah Haider expressed gratitude to the electorate and called for an urgent executive attention in addressing the concerns raised by the people of Lower Nyume. Babakar Kamara, GRTS.
Well, you can monitor GRTS radio live on our website, which is at www.grts.gm. We're going to take a very short break now. The news continues in just a moment. Welcome back to GRTS News. An Italian court is set to wrap up the case against Pope Benedict's former butler, Paolo Gabriele. The Vatican officials is charged with leaking secret documents belonging to the pontiff. If found guilty, the former Vatican butler could serve up to 4 years in jail. And police in the French city of Strasbourg have conducted raids on hideouts of suspected militants. We have more on those stories and others in this roundup report.
The radical Muslim cleric Abu Hamza and 4 of his associates were flown from Great Britain to the United States on Friday after a final appeal was rejected by the London High Court. Last week, the European Court of Human Rights closed 8 years of legal proceedings by ruling that Abu Hamza could be extradited to the U.S., where he is to stand trial on 11 charges of kidnapping, conspiracy, preaching jihad, and of trying to establish a militant training camp in the U.S. If convicted, he faces the death penalty. During an anti-terrorist sweep carried out in several cities across France, 1 man was killed and 3 police officers injured in a raid in Strasbourg. The raid was part of a larger operation launched in response to the bombing last month of a Jewish bakery in a Parisian suburb. 7 people have so far been arrested. They are believed to belong to a Salafist terrorist group. Following the decision on Friday by Jordan's King Abdullah II to dissolve parliament and call early elections, some 15,000 Islamists protested outside the Al-Husseini Mosque in the capital Amman. The Islamists demanded constitutional reforms and are angry over a redrawing of voting constituencies which favor loyalists over Islamists. Paolo Gabriele, the former butler to Pope Benedict, was sentenced to 3 years in prison by the Vatican court for having stolen the Pope's confidential papers. The Pope immediately reduced the sentence to 18 months because of, quote, mitigating circumstances. A Vatican spokesman said it was likely that the Pope would pardon Mr. Gabriele.
Syria says Wednesday's incident with Turkey is under investigation and denies that it wants a conflict with its neighbors. Authorities in Damascus have accused Ankara of aiding and funding Syrian rebels and turning a blind eye to shipments going across its borders. News network CNN has obtained a video which tells the story of one cross-border operation, an effort to establish secure medical centers just across the boundary in Syria.
Border, and we just saw the Turkish the border control passing by, so we had to stop for a few minutes, probably an hour maybe, until either they pass or it becomes dark in the evening, then we can go through.
This is Mohammed, a Syrian expatriate who has heeded the call to return home and help those in his country who are in desperate need.
I hope I'm doing good for my people.
He's a dentist by profession. He left Syria a decade ago, and today he is determined to get medical supplies and know-how where they're needed. He's not radical, he says. He's not extraordinary. He left his family at home in Saudi Arabia and plowed half of his life savings into these monthly cross-border missions to coordinate medical relief among the rebels.
Well, this is one of the few supplies that the civilians are using. Those are dressings, sterile. They help stop the wounds, so clot the blood.
We're headed for a secret hospital still under construction, hugging the mountains and the Turkish border. The Free Syrian Army hopes it will be protected from airstrikes. We can't show you the exterior. More than $400,000 is needed to get this place up and running.
We hope that companies can donate their instruments. We hope that governments can bring us supplies. We'll bring them in, as you've seen, through those roads.
These supplies are expected to last a month, say the doctors. Some donated by the Turkish government, dropped at the border, and marshaled here in part by Mohammed.
This is the first aid clinic. You see the needles, how everything is exposed. I mean, they do their best, but we still have a lot to do.
More than an hour's drive away, and we're at another field hospital, another secret location, this time in the town of Salma.
Another one. We need to replace the Ministry of Health. I mean, we're doing a job of a ministry. But the difference is that our hospitals are being always drained, they're always being bombed. So when you build the hospital, it doesn't mean that it will stay. So the budget is so huge, and unless there's real international support, we cannot do it ourselves.
Mohammed can finally hand over the few supplies he's carried from Turkey, bandages with a blood-clotting agent.